Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are out there. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
There we go. And today is March 25th, 2020. We're not going to write a little bit of code today. We're going to have a good conversation. I wanted to bring a friend in, have a good chat, talk about things that are going on and how things are changing a little bit in the world and some things that we as developers can do to better engage with other folks. Look at all the great folks here in the chat room already. Ingstrom Jemmy's here. Chris Jones. Gareth is here. Smap. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh my gosh, even Mike Eaton. Hello, you're here to give Dave. Well, let me bring on Dave. Oh my goodness, let me unmute him. Let's bring him in. This is my guest. This is David Giard. He's right over here. Hey, David, good to see you.
Hey, my friend, how are you?
Oh, I am doing fantastic.
You're looking fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Is it?
I like the hat. I really like your hat.
I was going to say it's the Detroit Tigers hat, isn't it?
Detroit is my hometown. I live in Chicago now, but I'm going to get my hat on. Hang on.
Oh no!
Now I'm representing.
Oh no!
Besides, I haven't had a haircut in like a month.
the Michigan State Spartans, yes, rival to my Penn State Nittany Lions.
Penn State had a great year this year in basketball.
Had a great year, and then no basketball.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. They canceled the tournament because Penn State and Rutgers had good teams, and it just threw the whole universe out of whack.
No, cut that out. Come on now. It wasn't that bad.
No, it was great.
It was. Gareth asks me if we're ready to plug Live Coders Conf. We'll get into that because, gosh, David, you want to give a quick intro to folks who might not know who you are, and we can talk about some developer outreach.
Yeah, my name is David Giard. I'm a software engineer at Microsoft. Been there about 6.5 years. I started as a technical evangelist, and now I'm with a group called Commercial Software Engineering, where we help companies. We work directly with engineers at companies to help them move to the cloud.
Yeah, get more productive. Take advantage of cloud services.
Cloud is awesome.
We didn't always work for Microsoft. We back in the day, back in 2012, we met.
2000? Has it really been 8 years?
Yes. Can you believe it?
Oh my gosh, I remember that day.
I
remember that we hit it off right away. Or at least I liked you right away. I think it took you a while to like me back.
I wasn't a very happy person at that point in my life.
How could you not be happy? You made the Speaker Idol finals 2 years in a row.
I did. So, for those of you that weren't aware, right, Microsoft had a conference called Tech Ed before Ignite, and our friend Richard Campbell would host a speaker competition during the lunch block, during the lunch period, and you gave a 5-minute presentation, and it was a competition just like Pop Idol, American Idol, these types of things. And there was a showdown that would happen on Thursday between all the finalists who won the heats the preceding days, and whoever won got to speak at Tech Ed the following year. One of us won it all in 2012.
One of us did. It was exciting. It was so. It's worth pointing out, I think, that the other folks, it was you, it was me, it was Seth Juarez, and it was Jim Holmes. That was some pretty stiff competition right there.
So I had only been maybe 2-3 months on the speaking circuit, and I just said, hey, I've got an idea. Like, is this something, that'd be fun to do? And I wasn't expecting to get accepted. I wasn't thinking I was going to get very far with this, and oh my gosh. Yeah, right. Within a year or two of that, you were not a year or two, but within 2-3 years, you were hired by Microsoft. Seth was hired by Microsoft. I came in a little bit later. Jim Holmes is out there, and Jim, we'd love to hire you. Got to collect them all. We're like Pokemon. But a tremendous group of speakers that year.
Great people as well.
Oh my gosh!
And I will say that I think the point you're making is that it kind of opened up some doors to us. You and I think we were kind of well known locally and regionally.
Sure.
But after that I received an MVP award, and not as a direct result of that, but I got some more speaking opportunities because of that, and I've had some credence. And look at you now. How many followers do you have on Twitch right now?
We are at 10,056.
10,000?
We crossed 10,000 over the weekend. Wow. It was a big deal.
It is a big deal. Wow.
I know.
So you compare that to 8 years ago.
8 years ago, there wasn't even a Twitch. It was just in TV.
I'm not talking about Twitch. I'm talking about you personally. Your career.
Oh, my gosh.
You're internet famous now.
I am internet famous. That and my rainbow beard. That's totally a thing. Brandon Satrum's here. Hello there. And
great guy.
Yeah. Gareth says he really misses Mix. Mix was a fun conference. I never got a chance to go to it.
I never went either.
But very web focused. Yeah. It kind of an offshoot because PDC didn't have a lot of web content at it.
I think the conference Stir Trek is named Stir Trek as a play on words with Mix.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, of course it's a Star Trek.
Yeah.
Take off. So they show a movie there, but also because of that.
So, for those of you that don't know, maybe you're outside the States. It's a great conference in Columbus, right? Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, Columbus. They're going to miss this year because of all the craziness, but they've already announced 2021. But
they host it at a movie theater all throughout the day. They have conference sessions in the different screening rooms, and at the end of the day, they watch whatever the cool sci-fi movie is that's coming out that May. Yeah. Originally
it was Star Trek, but usually it's an Avengers movie these days.
I got to see Captain America: Civil War was the one that I went and spoke at. So, and they were going to do what Black Widow was this year.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Jimmy Engstrom says Star Trek was great. Yeah, really is. Blazor Mr. Magoo says, "Hey, who's that guy on the left? Looks a bit like C# Fritz, but turned around." Hey.
Oh, you're a mirror image. That's why.
I've mirrored. Yes. Yeah. So we've spoken at a lot of events over the years. My gosh, and I jokingly, because of how you defeated me in the speaker idol.
We kicked your ass, didn't I?
Twice. Jokingly referred to as my nemesis, but we've spent a lot of time talking to developers over the years, and not just at conferences, but you with Technology and Friends, your podcast, your video podcast, that's been going on strong. How many episodes do you have published?
I passed 600 a few weeks ago,
and it's once a week.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm at 60 something.
Still a tremendous number.
602 right now.
Yeah, one a week for a long time.
Over 11 years, I think. 11 or 12 years, I can't remember exactly.
Oh, my goodness. That is tremendous. I have the alerts turned off. Thank you to our new followers over there. Anybody, I don't see any subscriptions. That's okay. So, I think it's kind of weird. I'm at 410 episodes, somewhere around there. But I've been streaming 5 days a week for 2 years. Yeah. It's like, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah. It's an ambitious project.
Right. When you think about live streaming, I equate this more to where podcasting, I think, is more of like a documentary, right? You record it. It's got some well edited pieces together, well produced. This is more like talk radio.
Yeah.
You know,
it's more spontaneous.
Oh, very spontaneous. I even see people that.
I think you were ahead of the curve on this too. I'm seeing more and more. I think the Twitch was, at least my perception, is it was kind of a place to share people playing video games.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And then yours was the first time I heard about somebody actually sharing technical content on this. And since that time, lots of people are doing that.
Yeah.
I see a lot of it. So,
there is.
Dare I say you are a pioneer?
No, there were people before me, certainly.
There were, but I didn't see them, so they don't count.
I'm the first to you. There's a request for a link to Technology and Friends in the chat room. Can you drop one of those?
Yeah, I have a. Let me see. I got to learn how to use chat. It is technologyandfriends.com.
Oh my gosh, that can't be easier.
And that'll redirect to a YouTube channel.
There you go. Acrophobic Pixie says, today's an episode of a little-known coding soap opera called Codes of Our Lives, with Fritz's evil twin masquerading as Fritz. That's right. Like, right? Was it Knight Rider back in the day, right? There was Michael Knight and there was Garth Knight, and it was still David Hasselhoff acting as his evil twin, but he had a goatee. That's how you know it was
I
Garth.
never saw that, but that had to be a ripoff of the Star Trek episode where there was an evil Spock with a goatee.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Right? So when we talk to developers, right? And whether it's on a recorded podcast, video, live video here, I continue to have this mentality of show, don't tell. Right? When we're talking to developers, don't tell them about benefits. Don't tell them, hey, you really need to try this. Here's a great new feature. I figured out this technique. Show them, right? I think that's kind of like the top thing when we want to talk to developers is, right, show me the magic, show me the money, show them what's important here, the things that you're excited about when you're giving a talk, when you're on a podcast or here, right? Show what's going on.
Yeah, I try to do that in my public presentations. The show that we just mentioned, Technology and Friends, is less of that. I don't do screen sharing there, but we kind of talk benefits of it and the reasons for it and how to get started. I have another show, as long as we're promoting shows here, called Gcast. And that one is at, let me see, I'll type it here. It's aka.ms/Gcast. And that follows exactly what you said there. Hopefully I'm spelling these right. Those are just real short screencasts, how to create an Azure Synapse service or how to create a pipeline in DevOps. Most of them are focused around cloud computing, but not all of them. And those are just brief videos that are focused really on show, not tell. There's no fluff in those at all. And they go from really basic stuff to more advanced stuff. So I try to hit both sides of it.
There's something to be said for that kind of recipe-driven video where it's, hey, here's how to do this.
Yeah, I like those. They're especially when it's a new technology that I haven't seen before. It's really nice. Written text like a blog post is great because you can go back and find that spot with a real key feature and stop there and read it a couple times. But video is better, I think, for just getting exposed to something new.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Oh yeah. So we both kind of talked about how that speaker idol experience kind of propelled us, gave us some exposure, and got us more into the speaking circuit. We have this question from Gareth. Let me put it up here. There it is, right between us.
Gareth just subscribed to my channel. Thank you, Gareth.
Hey, look at that. Gareth says, how does someone with a big mouth and strong opinions move from streaming into giving talks? Do you write your talks before putting in a proposal, or do you propose, then write the talk?
I'm confused who this is directed at. Is this a direction? Is this?
I think it's directed at both of us, right? Yeah. I have feelings both ways on this. What I like to do is I'll set up I'll set up a series of talks that I want to give in the year ahead in December. Right? December is kind of like that quiet period for the speaking circuit. December, January. And I'll kind of line up, well, here's the things I want to talk about.
It extended this year into March.
Yeah. And figure out, well, what are those things? And maybe I'll write one or two talks that I want to focus on, and I'll have a couple proposals in my pocket of, these are some other things that I can talk about. And if they get picked, okay, I'll go write the talk. But I'll have that bank of effectively 5 or 6 of these that I'll propose. Plus, I have some other ones from last year, from the year before, and from 2019 still sitting around that I'll drop into the mix as well. So I'll end up proposing maybe 6 or 7 talks at different conferences. And that's where I go on that. How about you, Dave? What do you, when it comes to proposing, building, and getting into
Yeah.
an event?
So, well, first of all, I think I started in public speaking and then moved into streaming, the opposite of what the question implied. Uh, but I try to get uh, two new talks a year.
Mm.
Talks do expire after a while. There are some talks that are really technology focused, and sometimes you can update them to the new version, and sometimes they just kind of fall away, and it's nobody wants to hear about, I don't know, HTML5 or whatever. But some talks last for a long time. I do a talk on data visualization that's doesn't really have any version numbers in it, and I still get asked to do that one. So that was always my goal when I was doing a lot of speaking, is I would try to get out 2 new ones a year, and then look through the ones that I had and update those accordingly, and then maybe retire. It seemed like 1 or 2 would drop off every year because they were obsolete. And I think the process is pretty similar to what you said. I come up with a lot of ideas, and typically I like to once I have a topic, I start blogging about it. I'll write an outline, and that outline becomes it's really easy to translate an outline into PowerPoint slides. And then when I'm building the content, I'll write it down, and I'll write a series of blog posts. So for a 1-hour presentation can typically be about 4 or 5 blog posts.
Okay.
And maybe after that, I'll do screencasts as well, which is good rehearsal for doing a public presentation. So those kind of all happen in parallel, and that's my preparation for doing a talk. And it's nice because you get more bang for your buck that way. You get the experience of delivering in front of a live audience, which is my favorite part of presenting, and then you get the scalability of a blog post or a screencast.
The screencast as practice is huge.
Yeah. People should do that anyway. Even if you're not sharing it, you should record yourself giving that presentation. It's a mistake that I used to make all the time. Is that I'd go through the deck silently and think, "Oh, I know how to talk. I'll just say something about this," and then I'd get to stand in front of the audience, and I realize I really don't know how to articulate that very well.
I would actually, at a hotel room, right, wherever the conference is, the hotel room the morning that I'm supposed to give the presentation. So I'd be standing in a Las Vegas casino hotel room, and I'd wearing a t-shirt and my pajamas, and I've got my laptop open, and I would have my presentation remote in my hand, and I would go through, just like you're saying, I would rehearse. I would run the entire thing and make sure that things sounded right, and I wouldn't record, but I would just make sure that it sounded right and articulate things and write down some notes of what sounds good, what are the bullet points that I want to make sure I say, those phrases that are key learning points.
I think that's the number one thing that everybody should do, is to actually go through the presentation in advance, even if either by themselves or with somebody there for feedback. Recording it ahead of time is an extra bonus, because then you can go back and watch it and actually critique yourself and realize you'll recognize when you say a lot, or if you have some affectation, or I don't know. I found that I used to after every sentence I would fidget.
Yes.
And I never knew that until I saw myself on video. So things like that'll jump out at you that you might not see if you didn't record it.
Oh, I'm sure folks that are watching the stream now would tell you that whenever there's a alert that pops up, I end up having a sip of beverage. Right? There's little affectations that I know I do, right?
Yeah.
Or after 2 or 3 slides when I'm giving a presentation, I'll have a sip of water that on stage. And I've actually turned the stream here around, right? For those that are out there streaming, it doesn't get any more real of a presentation than this.
Right.
This is practice for those very well practiced and fixed content conference presentations, right? I've shared content here and worked on content here on stream and edited it together and said, okay, well, we did this over the last month or 2, and that was really interesting. Let's give that as a presentation going forward. So
I've done that with my blog posts. I'll suddenly learn something. My blog is basically notes to my future self.
Yeah.
Today I'm learning how to build a DevOps pipeline. Well, I better write down what I learned. And then a year from now, if I haven't touched that technology at all, I'll Google it or I'll Bing it, and what'll come up? Oh, there's a good blog post. I wonder who wrote that. Oh, it's me. Yeah. Notes to my. So even if nobody else reads my blog,
Even if
that's a win. Oh, by the way, I guess I got to promote my blog now. This is my show. HTTP.
Yeah, promote that.
There we go. I'm just here to promote all my stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Just promoting your stuff on my stream. I tell you.
Is Michael Leeton still in the audience? Mike, are you there? I can't see the chat.
Let me take a look. Nope, looks like he left us.
Oh, he just put me on his GitHub repository. I'll share later on. I'll share it with you right now. This is the GitHub repository. Maybe if I do that, we can get it up above 80%.
Oh man.
There we go. This is the title of this repository is "Jerk Faces That I Want to Punch in the Throat."
Yes, there we go. There's our friend Mike Eaton with the throat punch list.
Yeah,
I've been on the list once or twice.
Yeah, I've known Mike for like 13 years now, and finally, this week, I finally made his throat punch list. I had a proud moment.
Things that annoy Mike because we're classy and we accomplish things. Jimmy Engstrom there in the chat room has a comment about writing proposals and talks. Most of us write a proposal and then write the talk if we get accepted, and we hate ourselves for doing it that way. We do.
Is that true? I know some people do that. Is it fair to say that most people do that?
I think a lot of folks do that. I'll say that when I write proposals for my own conferences, for some reason I don't write the proposals for the content that I prepared ahead of time. I don't know why I would do that, but I do that a bit. Right, like so I help organize the Microsoft the Microsoft tooling track and .NET track for Dev Intersection. Both of those I help organize. I help organize .NET Conf. I help organize the proposals. Well, I put together the proposals for MVP Summit. But Build and Ignite, I contribute to a little bit of that content. I don't make the final call on that. But for the things at Build and Ignite, they take things that were like, hey, it'd be great if you would talk about this. Oh, sure, I'll talk. They come back to me, it'd be great if you would talk about this. Oh, okay. I better write a proposal for that. Ooh.
I had one time somebody reached out to me and said, hey, could you do a talk on, I forgot what the technology was, but it wasn't one that I knew. And it came from my boss. He forwarded it to me. And so I reached out to her, to the lady that requested it. And she said, yeah, we'd really like to have a talk on this technology. So I spent like a day and a half learning it and writing up an outline and an abstract. And I submitted it. And about a month later, it was rejected.
What?
And I thought, well, that's weird. I just wasted a day and a half for this thing that a special request. So I reached out to her. She said, oh, I don't make the call for this. Somebody else makes that call. But here's a free ticket to my crappy conference that you want to go. I'm like, I'm not going to your conference. You just treated me badly.
Yeah.
I left a bad taste in my mouth.
I had
if I had a throat punch list, then
they would be on it.
No, I'm just kidding. I would.
I had something similar. I had somebody request, "Hey, could you build us a training video about ASP.NET Core? You work on the team. You work with those folks. Can you put together a training video for us?" Sure, okay. They wanted a very intro level, the hows, whys, and how to get started. Okay, put together the proposal, spent, an hour or two writing it up, making sure I had good samples for everything and demo points to describe all the stuff. Send it in. You know what? We like the content, but we're going to give it to this person over here because they're one of our preferred speakers. Like,
you did all the work and this other guy gets all the credit?
Yeah, like, that's not ethical.
That sucks.
Yeah. Like, why did you ask me for the work? Anyways. So, there we go. Old guys grousing about conference presentations.
What would life be like if we didn't have something to grouse about?
So, I started...
Look at the grouse.
Hey, look, grouse. There goes the bird. So, conference management, certainly at this in this time, right? And I don't want to dwell on the pandemic. But in this time is very tenuous, right? It's always been a risk to schedule and host a conference.
Yeah.
But as we look at it now, a lot of folks have to cancel these. A lot of folks are losing a bit of money on security deposits and things around those events. But we've made our way around to a lot of different conferences here. And as we see content now move online, as video presentations like this, we've always seen things like some of the sessions at bigger conferences. Oh, they have the money, they're going to stream it, in addition to having the folks in the room. I think there's a real opportunity here for us to take more of those presentations online. And Gareth was mentioning earlier, we have an event coming up for the Live Coders, the stream team that I manage here on Twitch. April 9th, we're going to do a full day, 14 sessions, all different people all over the world presenting. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, but it's that screencast focused presentation. For folks that are building screencasts, you've built a fair number of screencasts. You've got your Gcast series. Are there some tips that you have for folks who are thinking about building sessions to present online?
So the same rules apply about in-person presentations, about preparation, rehearsing, getting the thing nailed down really well. I've seen people try to just wing it, and I know you've got a lot of spontaneity on your live stream here, but I think if you're going to do a prepared presentation, that people, they have an expectation, and I think you owe it to them to have your stuff ready to go, and rehearsing ahead of time is a good way to do that.
Oh, yeah.
For specific to streaming, I think probably the very number one thing is get a good microphone.
Amen.
I think it's if you had to choose between investing in a good camera and investing in a good microphone, by an order of magnitude, microphone is better. And it doesn't have to be. I mean, it looks like you have a really expensive microphone there, and I have like a $75 headset here,
and it sounds good.
Not cheap, but it sounds really, really good. And so just at a minimum, get something like that. And then also take a look at it and do a little bit of editing afterwards if it's going to be
absolutely, if
something that's recorded. There's always dead spots, things. It's okay to make mistakes, and just pause, cut that out, do it again.
Right. Well, what we were saying earlier about the ums and uhs and those speaker affectations, those tics that you have, it's easy to cut those out when it's recorded.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember Jesse Liberty used to do a podcast. I don't know if he's still doing this anymore.
Every now and again, he starts it back up and slowly dies off. And
I used to really enjoy the fact that his podcast was really tight. It was just, first of all, he would just start it and then would just end it. He never had any like chit chat at the beginning. He'd say, "Here's my friend Jeff Fritz, and he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Let's talk about Blazor," or something like that.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, he would just ask the last question, be answered, goes, and then thanks, click, bye. As opposed to having an outro.
And it was, just another podcast? Yet another podcast, I think.
Yet another, Yapcast.
Yeah, I was
but also,
once or twice.
He eliminated all the ums and all the pauses. He went through, and there was no dead time at all. Yeah. It was really tight.
I'm keeping an eye on chat room over here. Ingstrom Jimmy says, it's not about the sessions, but it's also about the interaction with like-minded people.
That's harder line.
It is, and I think certainly here on Twitch we have the chat. Folks are hanging out in the chat, and there's some nice discussions going on there.
Yeah, it's possible, but it's not quite as good.
It's not quite as good, and what I like seeing that happens is folks will retire from a stream like this, and there's a side service that folks will use called Discord, and we have a Discord server here for the channel as well. And they'll jump into open chat rooms, just party lines, microphones open, anybody can listen, and they'll just discuss whatever topic. It's just wide open, and, no pressure, no discussion. Hey, what's going on? Let's talk about X, or a follow-up discussion about topic Y that happened during a stream or something like that. A lot of folks use Discord so they can coordinate talking while they're playing whatever game.
That's where most of they're from, is video game chat.
Yeah. Oh, and it's so
what I'm hearing is that you're not just broadcasting content; you're building a community.
Oh,
So those
yes.
10,000 people, there's a subset of those 10,000 people that are actually starting to connect with each other
Hmm.
because they have a shared interest in your show and the content that you're talking about and that technology, and
And
eventually
those friends.
they become interested in each other and develop those relationships, which is really, really cool.
It is, right? And right, video is the great connector here, right? There's a lot more you can get from seeing somebody's smiling face, that polite voice, describing something, showing something. In person is magnificent for that, but developer relations, as it moves into live video like this, and we have that talk radio type of interaction with chat with our guests, is tremendous. It's a tremendous way to lift a community, give that next level of interaction to folks.
Agreed. And I'll piggyback on this whole building a community relationship things. I went to a conference called Code Mesh, one of my favorite conferences. It's held in Sandusky, Ohio. My friend Brian Prince runs it, does a great job. And I didn't have a ticket. I just drove out there and showed up and essentially worked remotely. Instead of working out of my home, I decided to work from this water park in Sandusky. I didn't go to a single session, but I had a great time, and I learned a lot. I talked to a lot of really smart people. It was just a great experience, even though I didn't actually sit on any of the sessions.
But right, that says something about having that community, being able to bring those folks together in one place, and right, the hallway track you hear people talk about,
hallway
right?
track, yeah.
And Richard even named the conference Dev Intersection because it's at those intersection places that interesting stuff happens. There's definitely something to be said about a lot of value from that.
Agreed.
And trying to figure out how to replicate that here or Discord or wherever it might be during this time when we all have to be isolated is a challenge. We've got some ideas. We can run polls in chat, all kinds of stuff that are happening out there. James Warner is here. Hello. He's another Live Coder teammate. I like to have the shout out to some of the folks here in chat that are teammates, other members of the community. We know Gareth Hubble up there. He's another member of our Live Coders team. Callow Creation is here. Good to see you, my friend. Other members of this Live Coders team. So this is 130 folks that are all streaming different times of day from different parts of the world with different technologies, sharing and teaching, working together. So
That global audience is awesome. If I wasn't part of this community, I wouldn't have had the chance to meet people from all over the world. I'm blessed in that way.
So I was fortunate enough. I got to go to Stockholm in February, just before things started getting crazy here, and meet with our
beautiful
friends.
city.
Oh my gosh, yes. Meet with our friends, the Angstroms, and so we were coming back from dinner the one night, and folks are saying, "Oh, we're going to get an Uber and take an Uber back to the speaker hotel." What a great idea! Nothing. We all know how to use Uber. Takes care of all the money transfer. We don't have to think about anything. But another speaker, Glenn Hendrickson, and I, we said,
"Oh,
wait a second. They've got the rental scooters here. It might be 10 o'clock at night."
And it gets dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in February in Stockholm.
And yeah, there's rental scooters here. We could take a scooter back to it says it's only a 10-minute ride. Wouldn't you know, we got lost in Stockholm and ended up on the other side of the palace and taking scooters back through the middle of
the old city.
Cobblestone with scooter. Oh my gosh. It's one of those things that as folks that get to go to conferences around the world and meet friends, stuff like that happens, funny and stuff you'll remember. Now
So a Swede, a Norwegian, and an American,
scootering
around Stockholm in the middle of the night, getting lost.
Yes,
there's got to be a punchline of this joke. We'll work on it.
We'll work on it. We'll workshop that. There's a thing there. Hey, Lily Hazel, there we go. Good to see you. She's another member of the team. And when I don't see. I haven't had the opportunity to go to too many conferences in Europe, right? And I know you've been to a number of them. Particularly, you were mentioning there's a couple of them that you've been to in Romania.
There's one that's the IT camp in Romania. It's in Transylvania, Cluj-Napoca, which is the largest city in Transylvania.
Go on.
Beautiful area, wonderful people, great conference.
And it's Transylvania. How cool is that?
How cool is that? Absolutely. The only time I've ever played Dungeons and Dragons was in Transylvania. It was taught to me by a Transylvanian dungeon master.
Okay. Kay, the Blade Runner in the chat room, is from Romania. Well, welcome in, Kay.
Are you from Cluj?
We're crazy, they say. Yes,
crazy.
Yes.
They're not a lot of vampires there, but I pretend like there are. Yeah. Bucharest is nice also. I'm a fan of northern Romania, but I've been to Bucharest one time. There's a lot of history there. I'm finally looking at the chat room over here. I just realized I could read more chats as well.
Oh,
I see my friend Brent Steinman is here. Hey, Brent.
So now
Brent and I are an internal podcast just for our team. And it's something Brent. I say Brent and I. Brent. It's actually Brent's podcast, but every once in a while I help out.
Oh, very cool. Now, I've been doing a lot of work on Blazor recently, right?
I've heard of it,
and I understand that you haven't seen too much of this yet.
Well, I've seen it, but I haven't worked with it at all.
Okay.
I was at VS Live when it came to Chicago a few months ago, and everybody there was talking about Blazor. A lot of the talks were about that, and for my show, the reason I went was just to interview some of the speakers and get them on my show, and everybody wanted to either talk about Blazor explicitly, like Jeremy Lickness and I did a talk about it, and or talk about the changes in .NET Core, much of which was around Blazor.
So let me just give the quick 30-second pitch on what this is, right? So,
yes, because I'm totally a novice.
So just like we had back in the day, back in earlier days of ASP.NET, in earlier, the Visual Basic frameworks, right? We had these very component-driven user interfaces. You had controls you would place on a VB6 interface, or right, or in a web forms web page that you would be putting together. Blazor is a focus on those components and less so on the markup. So you can build this very component-driven user interface, and even pages themselves are components that can be reused inside of other pages. So you have this very reusable architecture that allows you to not think about HTML as much, but still deliver really cool user interfaces. The interesting part about this that a lot of the technical folks like is that those Blazor components can be used and rendered to run in the browser, right? So instead of actually having things server-side like we've seen for how many years with ASP.NET or Node.js or PHP, where stuff runs on a server somewhere in the cloud or out there on the internet, you can deliver a DLL and it runs natively in the browser. Which, right, folks are like, well, gosh, is that a JavaScript killer? It's not there yet. But the idea of being able to take our components that we can build and run on the server and also run them on the client, that's what people love about Node.js, right? Is you can have JavaScript on both places and have fluid discussion, fluid interchange of your code between the two. Being able to do that with Blazor, well, now we're talking. Now we're getting interesting. So that's kind of what we've been tinkering with. We've been working on here on stream. Not tinkering, but we've been working with. And I know you did web forms at one point. ASP.NET was a thing way back
for a long time.
Yeah. So what we've been trying to do is take those controls and that markup that we had that was very ASP.NET specific and bring that forward as a Blazor component so that you can get the same documentation. You can put the same features, the same markup into it, and get the same markup rendered in the browser.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I remember this pitch sounds similar to the ASP.NET Web Forms pitch from 20 years ago, and I always thought the disadvantage of that was it it didn't use the same model as the web itself. In other words, HTTP has a model, it's a request response model. It's actually relatively simple.
Yep.
And it made it more complicated in order to attract the VB developers. So we had these events, on load and on render and on pre-render, and I never did get them all straight in my head. They were really, often I'd have to say, well, let's try putting the code here. I can't put it there because the controls haven't been rendered yet.
Oh, yeah.
Let's put it here. I can't put it there because it's too late. And this it was a lot of kind of mucking with the actual model of the web business. So for a benefit that I didn't really get out of it. Some people did, but I when MVC came along, that seemed to actually embrace the HTTP model better, and that's why I was attracted to that.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
So Blazor, I guess my question is, does Blazor address this? Is it when you talk about components, I'm immediately thinking back to those components that were in the initial web forms.
So Blazor has basically two events: on initialized and on after render. So on initialized is basically before it goes and renders all the components. It's initialized the screen, and on after render is after everything's done and rendered. But as you interact with the component, it may render again and again, right? Because maybe you press a button and it updates a label or something. Well, there's a render that happened there because it updated something else. That on after render event fires again. So you do have just the two events, and yeah, it can be confusing, but when you understand how they trigger each other, it makes a little bit more sense, right? It's not quite as complicated as web forms and that used to be. But it also kind of feeds into a little bit of how folks build spas these days, right? You want to be able to do something after the page renders, after something happens that triggered a re-render of the page. That makes sense. Okay, maybe I need to repaint something or update or set appropriate styles, whatever it might be. You can attach and do that. So, Boom Boom has a comment here in the chat room. The request response before Ajax, right, is asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Though simple, was difficult to work with. It was. Because people wanted to change their UI live, not load a new page. But I feel like that's where we are now. Right, the request response, repaint the whole page. We're beyond that in our applications, right? We're in a more desktop, more native application development where we do want to just update pieces of a page as data changes, as interactions improve. So,
hey, I'm looking at this little emoticon down at the bottom here.
This one?
It says it's 9.3. Is that right?
What is
that because Kay the Blade Runner said that everybody in Bucharest is crazy?
No.
Is that
maybe?
I wonder what's driving that down.
So what this is, and I know you've done a lot of work with Azure. This is sentiment analysis being done on the chat room.
Cognitive services, awesome.
Yeah. So as messages get pushed out there.
Somebody said tacos and it went up to 78%.
Everybody loves taco. Right.
Tacos.
Oh my goodness. Hello. 1 second here. Our friend Sarah Fatz just dropped into
Sarah.
the chat room.
I haven't seen Sarah in years. I love Sarah.
She just gifted 20 subscriptions to the community. Holy crow.
She's an awesome person.
Namazri, I got to read off this list. Namazri, I am a meat popsicle. There's a name. Nana Boy, Tale of Four Gamers, The Paul Stella, Quoting Mark, South Pole Steve, Vombataform, James Warner, Electrohex, Facu Rodriguez, Vindicator Vef, Arago, Arts Plunge, Cotter, Junicus, aka Real Deal, Aim to Please One, Firm Lol, and is that El Sanamini? Congratulations, you all just got gift subscriptions thanks to our friend Sarah Fatz and the folks at Progress Software. So folks pay a little money for the right to have a subscription. It turns off ads on the channel.
It's a Twitch subscription.
Yes.
Okay.
They get 17 emotes that are custom for the channel here. Robots, Clippy, the paperclip guy with a rainbow beard. the GitHub Octocat with a rainbow beard, all kinds of stuff. What an entrance, indeed, Sarah. My gosh, thank you. Needed to boost that sentiment, indeed. We'll get back to talking about that in a second. But they also, they get the ads turned off, they get the emotes, and we make a donation to code.org this quarter to help pay forward a little bit here to those folks. They're helping kids in schools learn about technology, get science and technology into the curriculum. So we can show them some of the magic that you and I have experienced, and certainly in a lot of folks in our chat room, writing software and having that success when you write code.
That's very cool. I've actually used code.org. I used to do a lot of work with schools in the area, and we were teaching young kids. There's a lot of things that they're programming languages, like graphic-based programming languages.
Yeah,
that are
stuff like
geared
Scratch.
towards younger kids. Yeah, like Scratch-like programming languages.
Yeah.
Or even just games that teach logic. And it's pretty cool.
Oh, it is. Very cool.
And you're supporting that. Awesome.
And we are supporting that this quarter. We've supported a couple others over the past year or two. Very cool. Thank you so much. So to finish the about this, so this is sentiment analysis of the chat room. The number is the average sentiment over the last minute. The arrow is compared to the trend over the last 5 minutes. And the smiley face is the most recent messages. Were they positive or negative?
Okay.
So, Beachcasts, they're another live coder. There we go. When you're describing, sounds like a callback to the old action script days and a move backward. No, that's not the intent to be moving backward at all. The old action script days. Oh, I'm not sure the context there, Beachcasts. But yes, this is sentiment analysis happening right here live of the chat. And the interesting thing about that, is when I see that change dramatically, I know to change topic. Right? Or if it stays high like this, we're going to stay on this topic for a little bit. Right?
Did you ever see there's an Onion News video where these people are on a stage debating some political thing while the audience feedback is showing below them and they can see it.
Oh.
And so they start changing their message. When they say something that's score goes down, they immediately shift gears. Say, oh no, what I really meant to say was this. And by the end of the video, they're just shouting out buzzwords.
Oh no, Beachcast, it is not. Okay, so the Beachcast comment, it was not about. So the reference to ActionScript was about IE lock-in, Internet Explorer lock-in. No, Blazor actually works on a web standard called WebAssembly. And here's the thing about WebAssembly. You're going to love this, Dave. Remember when we had Spectre and Meltdown, those two processor flaws a year or so ago over the summer, and everybody had to upgrade your operating system and your browsers because they were affected, right? Well, everybody got the patch for that and got support for HTML5, which included WebAssembly. So everybody has support for this on your phones, on your PC, on your Mac. It works in every browser because it's a standard.
And most browsers are now evergreen. They kind of self-update.
Yeah.
Which is nice for developers.
The days of saying, I'm not updating my IE7 to that IE8, how dare you touch my browser, are gone. You know? My goodness.
I think there's still some corporate applications that have issues that don't run on modern browsers, and they don't have the resources to rewrite them, and those are problems. But by and large, it's.
But there's something to be said about an organization that doesn't maintain their applications like that. You spend all this time to invest to build an application, but you don't want to maintain it?
Yeah. It's a challenge.
Oh, it absolutely is. So, Coated Beard has some IE5 lurking. No, don't do that. Oh my goodness, don't do that. Enterprise internal web apps, yes, those happen a lot. Headforge with that comment.
Yeah,
so,
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Stuff behind the firewall that we never see.
Yeah, but right there's things there where it's, don't you want to maintain this? Don't you want to add new features?
Seems like it would be a good investment.
Yeah.
But although I will say that I'm not a fan of upgrading just to upgrade.
Okay, that's fair.
Let's rewrite this application because now Blazor's out and Blazor's cool. but it works fine just the way it is. Well, that's not a very compelling argument. It may be very expensive to upgrade that application, and you need to just think about the cost and the benefits. So
don't chase the shiny hammer, but you do need to care and feed for your
shiny hammer. I like that mixed metaphor.
Yeah, see that? We can mix metaphors all we want here.
Yeah, it's not rocket surgery.
Exactly. Way to go, Yogi Berra. Oh my goodness. No upgrading just to upgrade, says Beachcast. Amen to that. Indeed. You could always use something to help you move from web forms to Blazor. Gareth says he's seen a streamer work on something. I wonder who's been working on that. I have. My goodness. This has been a very quick, almost hour that we've had here together.
I've got about 5 minutes left. I've got another call.
I know you've got another call.
Is Layla on yet?
I'm not sure she's going to jump on here, but so let me explain. There's a thing going on here on the Twitters. On the Twitters, it's plural like that, isn't it? It's
in America. It's plural. In England, it's plural. It's singular in America. It's like math and maths.
Yeah.
We only have one math.
Yeah.
In the UK, they have maths.
Right.
Go ahead. I digress.
No, please. Thank you for explaining. So there's a thing.
Did I ever tell you about the worst taco I ever had?
Please. Go ahead. What's your worst taco?
It was awesome.
Even bad tacos are still really good. That's like pizza. Even bad pizza is good. Even gluten-free pizza is still good, even though it's cardboard. So back to our friend Layla. So there's a thing going around on the Twitter about it. They're calling it the Hard Liquor and Cookie Challenge.
Oh, what is that? One of the Rate Shy mentioned that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is.
So they're encouraging folks that, you know what, instead of all these folks in trying times putting pictures out there talking about, oh gosh, this is, terrible thing going on, let's do something fun, do something funny on Twitter, and they're saying have a little bit of hard liquor and a cookie. Well, here's the thing, I'm gluten-free, I can't have cookies.
Oh, and I don't drink during Lent, so I can't have hard liquor.
So
maybe between the two of us, we can
do a thing, right? So, I told Layla yesterday, oh yeah, well, I'm streaming right now. I have a couple meetings. I'll take care of. We'll get to that later in the day, and of course, the day gets away from you as it does, and never. I forgot to do it. So, of course, first thing this morning, I wake up and here's a tweet from Layla. Hey, Jeff, where's your video? I'm like, oh, man.
You're supposed to record yourself eating a cookie and drinking hard liquor.
Yeah.
And now it's morning.
Yeah.
So you're going to do a shot and a cookie in the morning.
Yeah, so we're going to get to that. We're going to do that. Balmer Peak engaged? No, Beachcast, no, we're not. I don't think we're going to be quite Balmer Peak. My goodness, my friend Fierce Kittens would be all over that if I was Balmer Peak.
I don't know what that means.
A little bit crazy, a little bit out there, just like he was.
Oh yeah.
So I have a thing here, an alert that pops up and I have it turned off whenever I have guests here. Whenever somebody clicks the follow button, Steve shows up and greets our new developers,
okay.
Chanting, and dev lead's all set to go with the Twitch clip. Yeah, a Twitch clip here for our friend Layla. She's going to be, yeah. And I'm guessing Dee Dee and Sarah, I thought I saw, yeah, Sarah's still here. Oh, man. So, yeah, I've got a little bit of rakia here that I'll take a shot of before I get...
This is Bulgarian
brandy.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have some Suica from Transylvania.
Drinking to a certain level makes developers better. Well, maybe that's Balmer Peak. Ah, okay. So
I see. So you get better, and then there's at some point you fall off the Balmer cliff.
Yeah.
Hey, I had dinner with my boss's boss's boss a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And I've known him for about a year, but I learned he used to be Steve Ballmer's speechwriter.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And
yes.
So of course the question I asked was, did you write developers? And it turns out he did write the speech, but that part was improvised.
Was Adler? You think?
Ballmer was a spontaneous guy with a lot of energy, as everybody knows, and
quite.
He just bought the LA Forum yesterday.
Yes, in Inglewood. So he's talking about building a new venue for
Clippers might finally have their own arena.
Yep.
Not that one. He's going to build a new arena. He bought that to appease
bought the venue
for runners.
Yes, Madison Square Garden owned it. So
they used to, yeah. So I guess they still own it, but soon it'll
transfer. All right. Well, thank you, sir. It was very good to have you.
Yeah, I got to run. It's been a pleasure, my friend.
Absolutely.
Let's get together again, either virtually or in person.
Absolutely, we will do that.
I'll have a cookie and you have some suika.
Absolutely, we'll take care of that. Have a good one, Dave. Good seeing you.
Thanks everybody else for showing up.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See ya. And I'll go over here, and of course, Skype crashed. There it goes. All right. So, code time now. Yeah, we're gonna get into some code, but I think I owe one here to our friend Layla real quick. Let me take care of that. So, I try to keep this family friendly. I try to stay a little, but I'm gonna pay my debt here to Ms. Porter. Can somebody put a tweet out there to her? Let Layla know out there on the Twitter that yes, I'm going to have a little bit of rakia here. This is called Sliven's Pearl. There you go. You can see that. It was 12 years old when I bought this in 2013. So I guess that makes it 19 years old now. So I have this is the hard liquor and cookie challenge. And oh my gosh, Sarah with the I don't even know what that is. What is that? Pretty bottle. It is a pretty bottle. I can't even get it open. That's how locked down this is. Oh my gosh. It's not a minor now. No. Liquor. It's Corona Disinfection. Nozdrev, yes. How is that even a challenge? Because I'm going to continue coding here. Right? Cheers in Bulgarian. There we go. Oh my gosh, I should have opened this before I started trying to get on stream here with it. Otherwise, I'm going to look really silly not being able to open this. The cork is stuck. I can't open it. I'm going to need to get some pliers. Fortunately, I have some. Oh my gosh, can I? No, I'm not going to be able to get this open easily. Let me get some pliers over here. It's just over there. All right. I am going to do this. It's not a corkscrew, right? There's a cork in here, but I can't get it open for some reason. Oh my gosh. There's Steve. Thank you for the follow, Jamie. Jamie Altizer? Is that how you pronounce that? Welcome in. I haven't opened this in years. Saving it for a day just like this, Layla. So, nope, I can't get this open. I might have to find another one. Bardaki, thank you so much.
Bardaki just resubscribed for 17 months. Has it really been that long?
Yes, it has. Thank you so much. It's like your grapeseed oil. No. Oh my gosh. I've got it turning. This is terrible. Man, this is... What a stream. Trying to open a bottle of liquor here. My goodness. What does it taste like? I don't remember. It's been forever since I've had it. But my friends, Rumen and Ivan took me out to buy this when I was in Sofia, Bulgaria. Oh my gosh, I can't get... Well, it's starting to... There we go. Now I got it. There we go. This is... Yeah, this is Sliven's Pearl. See it there? Oh boy. All right. There we go. Gonna pour a little bit out. A little bit from my friends at Progress out there in Sofia. Yes. What will I drink during the 100,000 sub party stream? 100,000 D-Trouble. That's a lot of people. It is 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm a Meat Popsicle. Thank you so much to, well, there's 10K for you, but also, where's Layla? Somebody tell Layla that we've got this happening here. That we're about to do, and we'll have this clipped. There we go. Thank you, Sarah. All right. So it is 5 o'clock. Yeah, get ready to clip this. And like I said, let me set this up right. This is Sliven's Pearl. And we've got a little, well, we got about a finger of that in there. Cheers to you, friends. And all the best on the day ahead. I'm day drinking here, dear Lord. Woo. Woo. All right. I was not too drunk to open a bottle of booze. What is that? No. Cleanse the palate there. Salute. Absolutely, Wanadza. Let me get some music playing here in the background. Let's get set up for a little bit of coding here. I don't even have my adapter turned on for sound effects and the like. And now that our guest is gone, I can get tuned back up for all of the crazy stuff that we normally do here on stream. I had turned off Old Man Developer as well. I didn't record any more for that, but Old Man Developer is a thing. We're going to turn that back on today, because I know some of you out there. I know you want to see it. Wait a sec. I'm looking at the request queue here. Or are these ones that... Yeah, these are ones that I had pushed through for testing yesterday. Let me delete these. And we'll turn back on the rest of our stuff. Oh, yeah, look at that. Marcus has already requested a little Old Man Developer, and it's been turned off, so I'll have to play it. I don't have a way to play it manually. I'm going to need a way to do that, aren't I? Let me head over to the code so you can see. I'm going to turn these back on. We'll turn back on Wear a Different Hat. I'm not going to turn on Live Share or Font, but we'll turn back on Thanos. Yep, Session Submissions. We'll turn back on Get Off My Lawn. I think that was from yesterday we had that. Voice mods. Yes, we love the voice mods. No font changes, no live share, because we're going to be in Vim, because this is minimal March. And I can't do light mode or that font. I can review your code and record voiceovers. There we go. All right, that's all turned back on. And of course, you saw the alerts are back on and running. We'll get some music playing here in the background and we'll write some code together. This is Yellow. There we go. This is music from our friend, Mr. Carl Franklin. Scientifically designed. It's engineered to get you in the flow, get you in the groove, so that you can focus on whatever task it is you're working on. Check it out, mtcb.pwop.com. Or you can execute the music command there in the chat room and get your copy today. There you go. Thank you, Mike Holloway. So voice mod is a very fun idea. I do have voice mod running. I need to turn it back on. There we go. So that's actually wired up to this microphone so that we can isolate and have just my voice go a little crazy. A little crazy. And we introduced yesterday Old Man Developer recordings. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I even went there with this. How drunk was I yesterday? And the idea was that there are things that people complain about. Oh my gosh. Back in my day, we put together a couple crazy ones of those, and we certainly have that available and hanging out there that you can tinker with, you can learn more about. And it's a channel point redemption. It's not a button here for me to press. It's a channel point redemption. Redeem that and it'll automatically play in the background one of these Old Man Developer things at random. So, oh my gosh. Lily Hazel with the question. This is a good question. Make sure I put this out here. and make sure that I have these set to display. There we go. For the record a voiceover channel reward, does anything go? Any guidelines one may need to adhere to? Well, I do have final say on what it is. I'd prefer if it was something a little more family friendly. I'm not going to go and cuss up a storm or say anything lewd. But just about anything will go there, sure. Like I said, I do have some final editor rights on those. You're not going to be able to ask me to go and record me talking up a competitor to my current employer. That type of thing I can't do. But certainly, you know, I can talk up and promote your channel, your organization, how wonderful it is. I can certainly do those types of things.
Reverse Hungarian notation for longer than Hungary's even been a country.
There's the old man developer. See that? You have something family friendly in mind. There you go. Just to be reasonable, don't ask Jeff to say something he wouldn't normally. That's a good way to put it. Sure. Yeah. So nothing about Java. You can ask me to say whatever you'd like about JavaScript. I will absolutely make those happen. Don't ask Fierce Kittens to say anything about JavaScript. There it is again. There's that horse. The horses love JavaScript. I don't know why. Let me just double check my schedule here. Two Wolf.
Two Wolf Design just resubscribed for 10 months.
Yes. Thank you so much for all of that. And there we go. I am good. And we'll make another donation to code.org. Thank you so much. Can I Shatnerize songs? Spoken song poetry. I might be able to do something like that. Copper Beardy, good morning. Oh, good afternoon to you. Drinking during the day, was it nutmeg? Oh, squirrel. Oh, stop it. No, it was a little bit of rakia here, a little grape brandy. So, it's the spot. Exist any Microsoft tool? I don't know what you mean, Burnex. Help me out there. I started trying to get Hyper-V running here. There it is. Hiding over here. Let me get our Linux system started. Jump in there. Yes, great brandy, Mike Holloway. This is called... There we go. This is called Sliven's Pearl. And this was a 12-year that I had purchased back in 2013 is when I purchased this bottle. So, don't tell my wife. No, I guess the internet knows now. Angry Little Hamster is here. Good day. Good to see you. Angry Little Hamster. It's a little known fact.
This is what they sound like. Angry little hamsters.
Right? Is that the thing? Thank you for the congratulations on the follower goal. Yeah, we hit that. Oh, Chris Jones. Chris! Hamsters for 5 minutes. And Lily is rolling there. Oh, I see what this is. Hey, we've got Jeff drinking. Let's have him sound like a hamster now.
We'll do that. Oh, yes. Here we go. Let's put the indicator up. Hamsters. There it is. 5 minutes on the clock. There we go. Alright? Let's have some fun. Let's talk about Blazor. Let's talk about our components. And we've got some pull requests. That sounds weird. Pull requests. No, not drunk hamster hype. Gareth! No. This is not a thing. No. No, not going there. Let me see here. Okay, good. Good. Best hump day ever. That's right, Callow. let's have some fun. Hamsters are productive little fellas. Without them, our servers would be so slow. You're right. Look at that. Alright. Let me see. Let me refresh over here. Pull request. 8! 8! Oh my gosh. No, it's not a chipmunk. It's more like a squirrel. What do you say we merge some pull requests? Huh? Sound like a good idea? Let's do it. Hisham has been very productive. Let's do this. Ooh, that was some brandy. Alright. Let's start here with Julio Viquez, with some test fixes for our grid view. Some little bit of conflicts here. Let's resolve these and get this merged. And see what we got. Hey, beach cats! Let's play Hamster on a Piano. No, that's a bad idea. Bad idea. I think I want the lower half and get rid of these. Well, this is auto-generate. Yeah, I think we want the lower half of these. So this test makes sure that we're rendering columns appropriately in our grid when we set up auto-generate columns. Right? Automatically generate the columns for this widget object. So name, price, last update, and it should render them in the appropriate order. Resolve. Good. Next one. Empty data text. No. It's the whole thing. I'm going to take the lower one because this just makes sure that it rendered the appropriate number of columns. The actual content is over in that auto-generated columns element test. There we go. That's good. Markers resolved. Commit. Yes, I know. Do it. Do it now. You get help. Do this faster. You want to see me in a meeting with this voice? Maybe. I had an idea to record a bunch of TikToks using old man developer audio clips and face rig, so I look like the old man, the older stately gentleman complaining about the state of technology today. I think that would be a ton of fun. Is that Hamza? Welcome in. Thanks so much for joining us. And I am a hamster. Okay, a chipmunk, a squirrel, a rodent. Thanks for joining us. Ulix, hello. So it's running the check. It's making sure all of my tests ran properly here. Let's see. Come on. You can do it. Tell me this ran properly. Running the test. Show me. Oh no. Hamster time is up. Thanks so much. Right? We'll turn all that off.
And we'll bring back the proper microphone. Ah, there we go. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Hamza. Clip that hamster shout out. Not every day that a hamster calls you, says hello and welcome in. There we go. So all of our tests ran properly. Of course they did. I wrote it. And now we've got, there we go. We'll squash and merge that. I'm just going to delete this second message. Confirm and squash. And now we've got updated, a little bit better tests for our grid view. Fantastic. Let's look at some more pull requests here. Your stomach is hurting way too much now? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bardaki. Okay, I'm not really. I'm glad you're having a good time. Yeah. Things can possibly get a little crazy. Maybe I should just leave this down here so I can sneak in whenever I want to do something fun, like fall down a hole. Or get lost in a cave. That's totally a thing. Totally a thing. Okay. Hisham has a bunch of fixes here for us. Let's take a look here. This one is called Fix Label HTML Render Output. It looks like he started on a label component for us. Added a literal component. Let's take a look. So what Hisham is suggesting here is we need to merge 143 first. This one. Okay. Let's take a look. He's got 3 files changed. Added a definition for a text component that has text. And in this case, we're outputting text. I'm not sure why we have a text component, just to ensure. All right. So we have a label component now. Well, we had a label component, but this now has text as part of it. Outputting not as a label, but as a span. Is that the label? Is that the format that it should be? I'm going to let this fly and push that in. So now we have a label component that is growing here. Added label component docs. Good. I love seeing docs are always... Docs are a gift. When we can add documentation that explains what's going on here. This says button. I think I may push this in and just change that to say label, right? Yeah. And it's that, it is going to the label. I'm going to accept this and change that to label after it merges. Very cool stuff. I love seeing Hisham's very, you know, he's got a lot of enthusiasm adding the label here. I'll update that doc so it references label instead of button. That's easy. Get that merged in because there's a ton of features here that we need to add, and we'll make this happen. We're gonna get through this quickly. I'm gonna close this. Let me head back over to docs where he had there's label. And I should be able to see it says button for label. I'm going to change this real quick. So it says label. Fixed the title so that it now says label. There we go. Get that in the mix. Good. Next pull request, the literal component. So a literal component, the literal component is whatever, right? Whatever the ASP literal just puts whatever content directly into the output. So Hisham puts some, here's the documentation to go with this. The basic format inside of our test, nice. Whatever text, it just outputs that. Okay. That works. And even if you put some markup in there, it outputs it appropriately along with an enum. Nice. All right. I like it. I like it. Love seeing new components being added. We have a small conflict here in the label. Let's fix that real quick. And it is the text and toString. Let's get rid of the toString, so it's just the text that it's outputting. and that should work. Commit that merge, and we'll wait and make sure that it tests appropriately. Thank you. So it's going to rerun. It should rerun the test. Or not. Maybe not. Squash and merge. So I'm going to chunk this down so it's just add literal component, add docs, add unit tests. Let's just say add literal component, docs, and unit tests. So we'll merge that in, and now we have a literal component in our project, and it's going to run that unit test here. I knew it was running it. I knew it. I knew it. Invisiturtle. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you're wishing me a wonderful day. Thank you. It's good to see you, Invisiturtle. Thank you for joining us. And in exchange for wishing me a wonderful day, I'd appreciate a follow if you don't mind. Click that follow button up at the top. When this number crosses a multiple of 100, I give away stickers here on our stream randomly to somebody in chat. So I hope you'll show me a little bit of help there, a little bit of kindness. Let's see here. Oh no. I need to say sweet mother of God after I take a swig, according to Rachel Appel. Oh no. Rachel. Frank!
Ushero's raided my stream with 3 viewers.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. My name is Jeff Fritz. Yes, I took a shot. Yes, I did. We try to stay family friendly here, but I am not going to let a challenge go by without my response to it. Our friend Layla Porter. So that happened with audio too. Yes, I am not too drunk to open a bottle. We're doing just fine here. All right, so we now have a literal component. All of our tests ran properly. Let's take a look back. Over here, we're looking at the literal component sample next. Let me take this, refresh. All right, so we've got a sample now that will push out control samples literal. There's a nice link out to it from our component list. Here's our sample. It's just a link to it. I don't see the actual... Oh, here's the page. I'm sorry. There's the page in the middle. Literal component, the literal, and encoding and output. Thank you for the follow. MSE Eli, welcome in. Hey, TBD Gamer, good morning. Good to see you. I can make a session for Azure VM and remote development on it. Why? I can. Let's merge that in. Yep, there we go. So add that component sample. There we go. Cool. And we'll go back over here. What else? Add a hyperlink component. So this is one, we already have a link button. So this is, right, a lot of folks used a hyperlink component, there it is, to be able to trigger, see this, Hisham, your copy paste skills are fading here. We need to change the title there. But it's a hyperlink with text and a navigation URL. And some folks, oh boy, will have this hyperlink component in their code, and we're going to make sure that we support those folks as well. Fantastic. Thank you, Hisham. I don't see a unit test for this. Do I? Oh, nope, there it is. To make sure we get the right format output. Nice. All right. I'll merge this one in. So that's got some tests going with it. That's going into dev with some, right? We've got docs and a unit test. So I like to include all these as one, right? Docs and a unit test. One line, so that all appears inside of our, there we go. Nice. And we have just 3 pull requests. Well, not even 2 left. And this is 2 that we're kind of working on. They're a little bit working on. So Frank was working on an admin page in Blazor for his URL shortener. Nice. You need some nice components to display all the info. I know some folks who make some really cool Blazor components you could use. These are components to get folks migrated from web forms, not necessarily to be, to be beautiful or pretty components. Right, just to get folks converted and have the same look and feel. Ugh. Ooh. I might be feeling a little bit of that brandy now. Oh boy. All right. And actually, Hisham is in the gitter. When you see this, I'm gonna pull a whammy here. So there is a gitter IM communication thing here, right? Chat room out here. Here we go. And I need to sign in to start talking. Yes, sign in with GitHub. Right, there we go. We merged your pull requests just now on stream on Twitch. Very cool stuff. There we go. So, all right. So now I have a bunch of new components in here. I feel like I owe it to Hisham to cut a version of this to ship, because we've got 2 or 3 new components in the mix there. We should push a new version of this. There we go. That check passed. Thank you for the follow. Oh my goodness, how do you pronounce that? CTS. Welcome in, CTS. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, I feel like we should push a new version of this. We should cut a new release of our components here. Where's my tags? Tags. We are at 060 preview 2 we pushed out, and a 060. I feel like we should push. Well, it would be 070, right? That would be the latest tag. Do I have that right? Let's push 070, including these new tags that our friend Hisham has given us. These new components. Remind me later. I'm not going to install right now. All right. Let's do a little code cleanliness, a little code maintenance here. Let me check out dev. Yep. Pull in those changes. My automatic tests are going to rerun over here. There's all the changes we got from our friend Hisham. And if I look at the log, there we go. Added the hyperlink component, added the literal component, and fixed up the label component there. So I'm going to push out this update with these 2 new components in the mix. They're not quite finished. It doesn't take all the styles yet and apply it to our components. But we're there. We've got some features that you can use. We still, right, styles are a thing that need to happen on a lot of our components. That whatever styles, whatever style attributes you set on the components, we need to make sure we copy over and set the appropriate CSS styles on those components as well. And that's probably a good series of issues that we can create. And if folks want to contribute, if you want to send over a pull request, you can put together some of those attributes. We've seen how they work for things like the list view and our data list, how those are built. Oh, and our friend Hisham over here, I just saw asking to see the link here. Let me share that. That's not. There we go. There we go. So there's a link. And Hisham's asking if he can be added to the team for this. Sure. I think. Right? Contributors. Where is it? Settings, right? And I can add folks to the project team as a contributor. Right? Isn't it over here? Or is it over in security? No alerts. Right. If I want to add somebody, manage access. Yep, that's my password. So I'm going to invite right, come on, right there he is. We'll invite Hisham. Manage issues and pull requests without write access. I'm going to give him read to start. I'm going to also, let's invite, my goodness, who else is up there? Not just Hisham. Yeah. Let's invite, there we go. Juan Viquez from Mobilize helped us with the grid. And we'll add, we gotta add Gareth Leachman. There he is. Kabazi, we've got to add. They've done a tremendous job helping out here. Thank you for the follow. Code Show. Oh my gosh, Code Show's a new member of the Live Coders team. Welcome in. And you know what? I'm going to add Eagle Hansen. Because he's done a tremendous job helping out with giving us some direction on how to unit test our Blazor components. So there we go. We've got the start of a team here. We can add more folks in there and grant some additional access to things as this grows, as we want to give folks a little bit more freedom to merge and grow the capabilities of these. Thank you so much to all those folks for contributing and helping out with the project. Okay. So I wanted to cut a release here. Let's cut 070. So I'm going to do I tag? What is it? The NerdBank Git versioning, right? Is it get version like that? There we go. So we're on 060. I'm going to do a set version to 070, which should, after I commit this, I'll create the tag, push the change, and push that up to master. So yeah, git commit -m set version to 070. Git tag v0, right? What are the tags that I have? Yeah. Git tag v070. No, thank you, Eagle. You've been a tremendous help to this project. Thank you so much. I'm going to push those, right? And I'm going to do a git push tags. So that goes, no, I need the dash tags. There we go. All right. And to issue the release, right, I'll pop over here. I create a pull request into the master branch, and it'll automatically push that over to NuGet. So we're going to merge this into master. Master is effectively my production area. So let's see. Some of these comments we're going to want to squash down, but I think we're going to leave all of these as is. So Jean Valjean is here. That would be coder 24601. Is that Slim HS1? Hello, what are we doing? We're about to cut a release for our Blazor Web Forms components. So we're gonna say what all do we have in here? We added our button. So we've added a button, a link button, an image, and a literal and a hyperlink. I don't even need to say all those. Added several edit display components, right? And we'll say added, what all were they? Button, link button, image, literal, hyperlink components. I think that's good. Create that pull request. I'm not going to squash it when we push it over into master because I want it to match. I am just going to create a merge commit. Now, right, we should see... This is probably running in the background. Yeah, see it right there? It's running over on Azure. Layla's here! Oh my goodness, it's our friend Layla Codes It. Hello, Layla. You missed the clip earlier. Oh my goodness. I'm sure Layla's a very important person. Very busy. A lot of things going on over there at Twilio HQ. Join later on the Fun Function. Well, Slim, that was yesterday. We were over on Fun Function. If you didn't see it, it happened. Where's the clip? There's a clip. No, Bardaki, it did happen. No, not just saying. There is no just saying here. It did happen. There was a thing. There was a glass. There was great brandy. It was good. What do you mean if I say so? There's video proof here. Lucky number 7, welcome in. Can we go to the tape? There absolutely is tape of this. Tape, listen to me. 1997 called and they like their technology back. Can we go to the video? No, Death Knight. No, allegedly. No. This happened. There totally was a thing. Yes, Mike Holloway, thank you. Go to the tape. Loving the brandy, Jean Valjean. Right. I am being... My chat room is turning against me. You're gonna make me do this again, aren't you? You are. You're gonna make me do this again. Death Knight! That merged properly. Alright, I am going to confirm. And we're going to release a new version of our controls. This is not a drill. 2 drinks before noon. Stop it. No. No segue. No. Death Knight. What? No, Bardaki! No. Not gonna do it. No. This isn't a segue. We're releasing software right now. We're being very serious. Releasing software, that's what we do here. We're very serious on this channel.
Inconceivable!
No one asked you. We are not... It is not double or nothing. It is not 2 drinks before noon.
You can do it!
I've got very important meetings today. Meetings with people like... Well, like the boss. Let's see, who else? Like the Channel 9 people. No, not 3. Death Knight. The boss doesn't drink. Okay, let's start there. No. It might.
Let me add some value.
Oh, Jean Valjean.
For new brandy smile.
I do a lot for my stream. Hey, ZS90. Hello. Wookiee Slayer just got Voice Mod Pro. With great power comes great responsibility. Yes. And hamster voices. Don't forget hamster voices. Those happen. No, don't tell him. I'm going to get in so much trouble. Here we go. Look at that. It published 070 is now available on the GitHub. And that's a thing. You can now get your copy of the Blazor Web Forms components. Free for anybody to try out there on the GitHub. Integrate that with your project. This is just wrong. No, in no way, shape, or form am I going to let you peer pressure me into this. No, not going to happen. You got me to do it once. No. Although Rachel Appel says, to do it properly, I have to say "Sweet Mother of God" after I take a swig. I shouldn't. Wait a sec. There we go. Look at that. See? Look. Friends.
Hey, Mom! We get some meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
What's she doing? I never know what she's doing.
See that? Mom's here. Now, I am not going to go and do this in front of my mother. What do you no. See? Stand firm. That's right. Mom says so. See? I can't do this. I'm waiting for my father to pop in and say, "Here's some wild turkey, Fritz. Go for it." Thank you. See that? I've even got support from Mom. All right? Who else streams with their mom? Huh? That Wedding Crashers soundbite. Love it, isn't it? Stand firm and take... No! Two Wolf! No. If I didn't... I literally have back-to-back-to-back meetings for the rest of the day today. And I can hold my liquor, let me tell you. But I do have meetings. We have a sponsor for tomorrow's stream that I want to make sure we have our meeting. We have our review that we're going to do later today. And I need to make sure that my head's screwed on right for that. And Dan Siegel with the raid.
Siegel raided my stream with 6 viewers.
Welcome in, Dan. Thank you so much for the raid. Hello. Dan's another member of the Live Coders team. We're doing just fine, Dan. Really, we are. So tomorrow, I was saying, tomorrow we have a sponsor joining us. And I don't see their email anymore. I had their email here. Let me make sure I get their information correct about exactly what we're doing. Come on. There it is. I don't see it. Yeah, our guest tomorrow is from Solar Winds. This is Adam Burt will be joining us, and we're going to be talking about how to integrate some of their application management, application and platform management tools, including Pingdom and Loggly, how we can use those to be more productive and help maintain the state of our applications that are running out in the cloud. I hope you tune in tomorrow to join myself, Adam Burt, and we're going to write some code together. We're going to talk about how to use those tools to ensure good running applications out in the clouds. No, Death Knight, I'm not getting an alcohol company to sponsor. How's it going, Johan? Good to see you. What time? Same time, Death Knight. We'll be back at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, 1400 UTC, and that's like, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Time in Sydney. Thank you for the follow, Death Knight. Appreciate that. And Friday, if you tune in, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, our normal time, we're going to have our ASP.NET Core workshop. About 8 hours of talking through, answering your questions, and building an ASP.NET Core 3.1 application from the ground up. You may have seen me give this workshop before. I've got it updated with things for ASP.NET Core 3.1. And of course, will be answering your questions in the chat room throughout the day as we build, and we'll also have live share open all day long. And you don't have to have Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio installed. You can connect in on your browser and navigate around my application as we're developing it live during that stream. So I hope you tune in. I hope you join us on Friday for that event. It's going to be a big event, and we're looking forward to it. We're really looking forward to it. All right, so we've published our Blazor web forms components. We've got that all updated. Let's do a merge down into the form component branch that I was working on. What? Smab chimes in and says, "Hey, what did I miss since the beginning of the session?" Hang on, let me rewind here and start over. We had a guest. We talked to our guest. Had a lot of fun talking to him about broadcasting and talking to developers out there and what it means to show, don't tell different things as a conference session and even here on stream. Then we had a bunch of pull requests from our friend Hisham that we merged into our project, and we just released a new version of the Blazor web forms components. I think that gets us up to speed. That was a lot. So how did I do? Are we up to speed now? Yes, Madrina's coffee. I am Rook. Oh, love the Madrinas. I have a fine cup of Madrina's coffee every day. And check it out. There's a link just below here on Twitch. You can click through there, use the coupon code Fritz, and you'll get, I think it's 20% off your order of Madrina's coffee. So you can get either the pods for your Keurig machine, you can get cold brew coffee in cans, all kinds of stuff. I love the vanilla latte. I've been drinking that a bit. Vanilla cappuccino, that's what it is. Today, just regular coffee, cream and sugar. I never mentioned completing the challenge in my recap, didn't? Oh, Layla. I did. I completed the hard liquor and cookie challenge without a cookie because I don't have any cookies because I'm gluten-free. And that was a little bit ago. There might be clips about that out here. These people from the UK pressuring me to drink. She is such a taskmaster. You must drink, Fritz. I don't know. I'm going to merge my code here. No, I didn't even get the cookie. I can't have a cookie. You use chocolate. There are gluten-free cookies, but I don't like this. I don't like to wait, it should be git checkout dash. That's what I wanted. I feel like they're kind of a waste of money to get gluten-free cookies. It's like, what am I really getting out of that? You know? I'm going to merge the dev branch down over here, and of course I've got conflicts. And it's in the image and image button that I've got to resolve those conflicts. Have I been you've been having a team meeting talking about what? Copperbeardy, not alcohol but plenty of cookies. All right. No, Death Knight. Layla's not the devil. Bobby Boucher? Where's... Hang on. No. There's... Sounds like something this guy might say.
Back in my day, we had to implement left pad ourselves in assembler and couldn't just pull it from NPM.
You couldn't. Right? The old man developer. Get those chiming in. Always accept cookies when offered. Johan, I have a similar statement about breath mints. There's a reason somebody's offering you a breath mint. Take it. Foosball's the devil. From Waterboy, yes. Let's take a look at these couple files here, see what we can do to resolve those real quick. It's easier for me to do that resolution in VS Code, so I'm going to open Visual Studio Code here. I can even make it easier if I go down into that folder and open Visual Studio Code here. Old Man is really quiet. That one was Part of it is because I have the music. Thank you for the follow. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Is that, I'll just say Jan? Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. Gluten-free cookies taste better with alcohol, says Stelzy. I might have to try that. I'm not out of breath. No, we're doing just fine. Okay, image and image button were the two that we had to take a look at. Something just happened. Over here, image razor CS. And actually, I should be able to see it over here, right? This one. Merge changes. See, they're not the same. Stage changes. These ones down here that we need to do. Okay. What are you doing? You're not showing me the conflict there, friend. And now you feel shame. It was in Image Razor CS. Oh, those are not staged. Okay. So we need, all right, button and button razor. That's where we need to fix. All right. Button and button razor here. And these look the same except for this extra space up here. I'm going to accept the incoming. That one. There we go. Looks good. We'll take that, add that one, and we'll merge this one. Oh no. I want the second half. That one. Right? And save that. Save that and queue it for deployment. Thank you for the follow. Clunky? All right. Welcome in. Nice to meet you, Clunky. We're going to let the tests run over here. This panel over here in my console, in my terminal, is running all of my unit tests for me as I change files. So it's going to recompile and run all of my unit tests. Wookiee Slayer likes oatmeal raisin cookies. They pretend they're a healthy alternative. You're not wrong. Is that Mauricio? Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Jan asks, at what age did I start programming? Is Mom still here? Mom, are you still here? No, Mom left. I started programming at, I think it was 6, 7 years old. Very, very young. And that merge didn't work. This is going to be a pain. This is going to be a real pain. No elements were found that matched the selector label. What test is this that it failed? This is Form View Edit Razor. That was working just a minute ago. I know it was working because before the merge, there it was working. Let me try and force that to rerun. See if it finds it, just in case something's missing there. It feels like it's not. Do I still have my very first project? No. I learned to write software on a Commodore 64, so no, I don't have it. Sorry. No elements were found that matched the selector. Okay, so now we've got a problem. Let's do this. We've got a problem here.
Houston, we have a problem.
We need to finish this merge. We need to fix that issue. So let me get everything merged here. Let's do that. Add image. So we get all of that added. Merging from dev. Okay. And I need to fix this unit test where it's not handling the edit properly. That doesn't feel right at all. Like maybe I lost something along the way. Yeah, Commodore 64, that's some OG programmer credit. Well, thank you. Yeah, I wrote a little bit of BASIC on the Commodore 64 when I was a kid. How do we want to do this? Alright, let's take a look at form view to start. Yeah, formview.razor. So it is trying to put up the edit item template when we change to edit mode right there. Okay. So we have that. So when we click the button, it should show it. Right? It should, and it was calling state as changed right there. Run the test. Not sure. There's something there. Remember loading games from magnetic tape? Oh yeah, that took forever. Ugh. I remember my friends across the street, Mark and Kevin, had a Commodore 64, but they didn't have a disk drive. They had a tape drive. And they bought Forbidden Forest was the game, and it came on a cassette tape. And like an audio cassette tape. It was on magnetic tape. And every time that you would advance a level in the game, you had to wait 5 minutes for it to load from cassette. Oh, it was an awful experience. And it really taught me something about drive performance. Right? How fast you get things, even at that young age, how fast you got things from disk is really important. Thank you, Lily. Appreciate that. Ars Technica's War Stories with Prince of Persia. Yeah. Yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it? So this is still not... It says it's not working properly. Changing over to show edit mode. Let's take a look at that test. So that's in form view edit. We had this working the other day. So something has changed. Let me scroll down here. So our edit item template has that label here. So when you click edit, it should be raising that event that this button has been clicked and roll over there. I wonder if we broke the button. I wonder if we broke the button during that merge. That could be. So let's take a look at the button component, right? And it's button razor CS. Now this comes off of now button base component. All right. This one. So now on bubbled event. So it is calling on bubbled event, which is in the parent object, which should be in our form view. It should have handled that bubble, and we do something with that. Okay, I should have just jumped right into form view. Form view. Hey. Fine. I'll do this. I'll hit the navigation directly. So if we go to form view razor CS, and over here, we should be handling the bubbled event somewhere. There we go. Bubbled event plus equals form view bubbled event. Right, so that's now somewhere down here. There we go. If it's a command event args, handle the command event args, which is right here. I see Visual Studio Code hanging there in the background. Shoo. This is minimal March. We're only at the command line. We're only using a text editor here. We should be reaching this point, right? And if I scroll back here in my test, can't tell anything there. Okay. Let's make sure we hit here. So I'm just going to put in console.writeLine, right? Handling command args in the form view. We should see that pop out here when our unit tests run. There we go. Look at that. So when that, it should output that text in the unit test. We would normally use a debug write line, but I'm going to end up removing these just as I try and chase the stack and see where the disconnect is, right? I'm going to go through the stack of execution here and see if everything actually runs. And it doesn't say that either. Okay, let me jump back over here. Let's go to the button, right? So it's button base component. All right, we'll go back to button base component. And let's go down here to the click. Ah, there it is. If it has delegate, we changed this from has delegate to if command name is string is right. That's it right there. If string, if wait, it's not string dot is null or empty. Right, we did something with this. Command name. Right, so as long as we have a command name, create the command args, and we're only, actually, we'll need to put an if around this. If there's one there, it'll handle it appropriately. Let's write that update, and that should fix things here so that when we click now, it triggers and goes through the stack. Let's see. Come on, come on. Run, tests, run! Do it! Okay, running the test. Yeah, come on. There we go. Boom, got it fixed. And it even says handling command args in the form view. Let's go back and remove that. Yeah, yeah, love it. Got that fixed. Fixing the unit tests because things change, because we merge stuff. And that'll rebuild and should run properly. Do you need to check on command argument also? So command argument is something that you don't necessarily need to have. As long as you have a command name, it'll pass that up. It'll pass that along. Is what I've seen from the previous documentation. There we go. Let's make this commit there. Why does it say 2 files? Not gut. Not gut. My fingers are not landing on the right keys here. There we go. Yeah. Fixed the form view command name requirement. There we go. And we'll push that out. That'll run a test. No, I'm not hungry, Death Knight. No. We're just fine. And that puts us right at the end of time here today. I'm really thrilled that we could spend some time together, that we could spend some time with our friend David Giard. I'm going to go over here to Firefox. And we should see this merge happening. We can watch that build and complete here. Right there. There we go. It's running its .NET restore. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. As always, a lot of fun to write code with you and build our components. We got a bunch of new components submitted to us from our friend Hisham, and we merged those in, including link button, hyperlink, literal. Those are all in the mix, and we deployed version 0.7.0 of our project. You know what? I didn't set this as the preview version name of this. It's gonna have the wrong version number. We'll be all right. We'll put that into the mix here. It's not actually being deployed anywhere, but I will write get version. Yeah, we need to make that a set version. We're going to make this 0.80 preview 1. And that's the version that we're going to be we're going to be working with. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Set version number, and we'll push that. That won't change anything. That won't force a rebuild, but everything built successfully from our merge. So our form view stuff continues to work with all the things that we've been working with from our friend Hisham. NBGV, that's Nerd Bank Git Versioning, is the tool that we're using to maintain the version numbers throughout the application. So it was great to see David Giard and talk about speaking to developers and what it means to be a presenter at a conference and some of the challenges that we face as presenters. We got our components merged, released a new version, and we've even updated things back into our working folder, our working branch for the form view. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. This video, like all my other videos, will be available out on GitHub. Yes, and we even finished the hard liquor and cookie challenge, even though we didn't have a cookie. That's right, Layla. You better be sorry you missed David. He is a wonderful human being. Oh gosh, friends. It's always a lot of fun writing code with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me see who else is out there streaming that we can set up a raid for. I think I saw some folks that would be fun. We raided Fun Function yesterday, so I want to find somebody different to raid. I always will try and find somebody different to raid each day here. Taking a quick peek at the big Twitch. At the big Twitch follow list. Let me see here. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I'm going to raid. I don't know who to raid. Let's raid InstaFluff. We love InstaFluff. He's another member of the Live Coders team. Developer Garage we raided just a little bit ago. It's been a while since we raided InstaFluff. So let's put out the raid call. There we go. InstaFluff's another member of the Live Coders team. If you're a subscriber, copy that first line of text, get it onto your clipboard. If you're not a subscriber, that's okay. Grab the second line. We're going to announce ourselves when we get over to see our friend InstaFluff. It looks like he's working on a Stardew Valley mod that he's been building. Always fun to see InstaFluff. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow when I'm going to have some guests from SolarWinds. I'm going to have Adam Burt from SolarWinds joining us. We're going to talk about Pingdom. We're going to talk about Loggly and a bunch of their services and how we can make our applications better. We'll see you then.